So on the photo trade here for South America, having Fiend and Yüz get this win, but he is right. This is an incredibly tough opponent. They were not exaggerating when they were talking about the win streak from Acno and Blaze in Europe. Definitely kings in the region as a 2v2 team, and they're going up against Fiend and Yüz, who just took down the team that took everybody else in South America out in the elimination bracket, and they're going head-to-head here in game number 1 with an amazing start as they just narrowly miss what could have been a double knockout in that team combo.
Yeah, this is definitely a fantastic start for the blue team. They've already got that damage advantage as he gets the double with the N-Sig. Acno and Blaze gonna get taken out in a blaze of glory.
Fiend is like, I've seen that neutral stick hit before, and I'm still surprised that that back hitbox set at the knockback angle. He covered everything there on both of his opponents as they get the team combo on the Blaze, and Acno interrupting just for a moment as Fiend avoids that punish, dips down after the downlight, and goes for the delayed recovery to tack on even more damage onto Acno and Blaze, but Yüz goes down.
Look at Fiend's health bar. He might get another one. He's chasing Acno on the right side, and the save from Blaze, that side air, actually helping reposition Acno. But Fiend has taken so little damage, and he's still on his first stock.
He's still on his first stock, and even though Blaze got the save, Fiend got the alley-oop on the save and got even more damage, so much so that Acno was... That's actually really well played. The D-Light Cider comes as well. Goes to the neutral signature.
DI?
He did DI. that was
two stairs. Oh, Acno trying to interrupt the N-Sig from Fiend, but was a little too late. Stock advantage to the blue team.
Acno played that the second stock, and he still has it really well in the sense that after he got saved by Blaze, and he got put to the left side of the stage, he was waiting for one of those classic Yüz Fiend setups where Yüz gets the neutral light or on the blasters, and then stop Fiend in the midst of the team combo to get that knockout. But Acno can't make it back there after that edge guard, and Fiend with an uncharacteristic catch on that neutral sig takes down Yüz, but still holds on to the lead.
Yeah, tragic N-Sig there, taking out the teammate, but again, Fiend so undamaged. Red team likely looking to take out Yüz at this point and maybe go for some 1v2s. You know they've got it in them. Right side, Yüz avoids the edge guard.
Oh, and that side air catches Blaze, and he tries to get back to the stage. Nice gravity cancel. Neutrals are coming out from Acno to catch his opponent there. And the down air from Blaze will interrupt the blue team trying to hold on to center stage. But as you said, Duke, Fiend has been doing so good, taking so much damage and not losing those stocks. And he's still acting as a stock tank here and getting even more as that sidelight D-Light gets the damage in before he gets punished.
Great interrupt, but you see they're going for the power play. The side sig snipes him off that right side platform, but it's still not enough. The high ceiling of Miami Dome.
High ceiling plus the Barasta defense is all that's keeping Yüz in this game right now because that side sig was beautiful. And Blaze with the save on the neutral light, really. Gets the down air, donks Yüz off the bottom of the stage, and Fiend goes for that Hail Mary. The neutral signature, and Acno and Blaze are a 2v1 away from taking this game 1.
But this is Fiend we're talking about. He's done such a good job surviving. If he can avoid the damage, if he can hit his signature, he can take this to a 1v1. Throws out the down sig, Blaze with the punish. It's just a nair.
Oh, down sigs from Acno and Blaze, and here's Fiend on the side of the stage. Gets the pogo, the neutral, he can get the weapon throw. He puts out the gravity cancel, neutral signature, and the dare from Acno steals game 1 away from using Fiend.
What a risky ground pound from Fiend there, not just because of the positioning, but because he hadn't really reset his jumps. He was just like, I'm gonna try to get
Fiend was
go for the 1v1.
really mind gaming there, right? Because the neutral sig, first of all, doubled up like as a I'm stalling my air momentum while covering my head for my opponent, and then the ground pound afterwards was the this is going to hopefully hit because nobody should be doing this here. And if he hit it there and he didn't turn around, he would have been able to chase dodge directly up. And that's what he was hoping for because that was a very dire situation that Fiend was in. Something that I'm realizing now in comparison to these 1v2s that we just got to see on stream, right? With experience, I feel like the character that he plays is a lot more well-equipped for these 1v2s, whereas Queen Nai really succeeds in these 2v2 scenarios because her signatures are so slow, but cover so much ground, right? When you get stuck in that 1v2, it's a lot harder. And Fiend here, with that weapon throw upwards, was only able to barely cover his way back onto the stage, and that could have been a devastating early stock.
Yeah, I mean, if Blaze had hit a couple more ground pounds, that could have been a KO on the Fiend early. And like you said, I mean, again, Queen Nai coming in, low movement speed, hard to move around as he gets caught by the signature from Acno. But on the other side, he swings hard so he can follow up off of Yüz.
Sidelight Nair interrupted by Blaze there with that side on the lance, and Acno trying to cover that landing with the down air, avoids Yüz's recoveries, and Blaze start tacking on even more damage on the Fiend, but they turn into a team combo. Yüz keeping Acno off the side of the stage as Fiend continues to go on with the guitars, but Acno gets this turnaround to Yüz.
Touch?
Yüz did not touch. He sweats, and Acno, unlike Yüz, News manages to touch the corner of Miami Dome before going down to Fiend's neutral sig as they even up the stocks 4-4.
Yeah, credit to Fiend, able to clean up Blaze and then go over and take out Acno. What a sideline to help Fiend out there getting away from the side sig. And I want to point out, Acno's thrown out so many spear side sigs. That's not a common Kaya signature to use.
It's not, and he's using it really well against the specific team playstyle of Fiend and Use, where Use weapon throw, he gets through,
he's good.
Down air hits, is he still sweating? The grab gets those side lights into what could have been a ground pound string, and the side stick from Blaze. Use goes flying off the left side of the stage. And I wanted to comment on that side sig mention. I think it's actually a great big brain play against how Fiend and Use play in particular, because they do so much standstill setups, right? Blasters have to stand still when you're doing the neutral light or down light, and that is such an amazing punish move for when you know exactly where your target's going to be for a prolonged period of time. And we're seeing Acno just succeed with that side sig over and over again.
Yeah, he's been so good at hitting those side signatures, so good at surviving as well as he's deep red on that second stock. Blaze, relatively untouched, kind of a return to form for Blaze, as he has generally been the stock tank for this long-standing team.
Oh, and there's that side light in there. The side stick catches Use floating in the sky, and he's dominating his Acno with the neutral stick. Goes all the way out there to finish off Fiend with the neutral air, and he goes all the way to the top of the stage. They're still not letting him land, and Fiend finally ground pounds back to the stage, but this isn't one of those 1v2s that we've been seeing all day. This is a much tougher as that punish comes through. And a bit of a golf clap coming up from Acno, being like, okay, you took one.
Good job.
But you couldn't get through the rest of the 3 that they had left on the board.
Your day's done here for the South Americans. That's what Acno is saying at the very least. And man, he really pulled out the book and said, I have the reads, because that gravity cancel neutral signature on the left side to catch the jump up from Fiend, that was him being in the head of the South American.
Oh, and Fiend is thinking hard about this next pick, right? Because they have to decide both the legends that they're going to be locking in here for this game 3 and the map they're going to be going there as well, because they got to get that win and then those other 2. And if Steven's trend prediction is right, this 3-0 is already in the making, and they definitely don't want that to be true here, as they are thinking hard, because if they go down here one more game, South America is out at 5th, and we have basically the top 2 NA and EU teams at BCX in top 4 here at the World Championship.
Kind of a classic, which is always nice because, of course, there's been that long-standing rivalry. But I think a lot of people wanted to see the South Americans do it again, get into the top 4, 3, 2, make it maybe even to the first place spot. But they have to get 3 wins in a row to keep the hope alive.
That's right. And against Acno and Blaze, one of the winningest teams in Brawlhalla history, if not the most, right? They have been together. It never split since they got together with those 2v2 teams. As long as they were able to team together, they have teamed together, right? Barring, like, literally they couldn't because of visa issues, right? Like that's the only reason why they wouldn't be teaming with each other, and they're here
and then
now.
Didn't like Boomy still win with Acno when they like when they had to team together in like 2019?
Hey, Acno and Blaze are really good at 2v2s, okay? We are seeing it here now as they're up 2-0 against Fiend and Use, but don't sleep on Fiend and Use yet. That game 1 was so incredibly close, and while game 2 was very dominant, we're here in Apocalypse, and Fiend and Use are starting that team combo up onto Acno.
You see the swap, Fiend over to the Hattori, one of his classic picks. He's bringing it back here for game number 3.
Yeah, if Fenrir Mortix is to Sandstorm, the Bride Hattori is definitely the Fiend. And they're starting off with the lead as Acno goes down super early on, and Blaze is literally lands side-airing away so that he doesn't get caught by the team combo between Fiend and Use.
Yeah, and Use over to the Bryn, being a great teammate to Fiend, being able to follow up. This is their specific team combination. Acno with the spot dodge, tries to go for the down sig, doesn't work out, but an end sig, not enough to KO. Apocalypse's KO box is too big.
Yeah, the Mammoth coming out, hitting one, and then comboing into the other. The gravity cancel means, though, no dodge, and Fiend with the side airs, keeping Acno off the stage, but that wake-up ground pound catches Fiend off guard, and 3 recoveries, exhausting all of his jumps into that
Yeah,
loop.
But how many hit?
It's not that they hit that matters, it's that they were able to keep him away from him as he got back to the stage, because Acno's hurting on the second stock, and the red team can't even take a stock. Look at that, D-Line recovery coming through, and Blaze on the center of the stage is like, okay, how do I relieve this pressure? Acno's almost down to 1, and we haven't even gotten one. Finally, recovery comes through. He's figuring it out, but Acno's still taking damage.
What an insane switch up coming out from the blue team. And I know we talked about like the characters in terms of just like the raw swap, but think about it. They went from Queen Nai, the lowest base speed, to Hattori, the highest base speed. They literally were just like, we're going to kick in the NOS because we want to go fast for game number 3.
Training weights literally dropped. Like the stats just flipped, right? But you still have that spear from Fiend, which he's so well known for, basically pioneering the spear meta that we're basically in right now here in 2022, that we've been seeing so much here in 2v2s. And that neutral sync from Yüz puts Blaze on the 1 stock as Acno starts to take a lot of damage with that D-light or sidelight D-light side air. Didn't get the double on that side air there, but the damage still counts. And Acno dodges a narrowly, and Blaze takes that stock off of Fiend with the side stick. You could get the double knockout here, dude.
Oh, the weapon toss!
Blaze is carrying in this game 3, and that is worrisome for Fiend and Yüz, who are really looking good at taking it to a game 4.
They had so much momentum at the start of this one, but Blaze really hitting the brakes, really trying to say, I'm a fan of Steven, and I want to prove him right.
Right, well, we were talking about the theme really, despite 3-0s being the result, I feel like the real theme is you have to get the 3-0, otherwise the momentum is irreversible.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm feeling here coming out from the red team is Acno holding on the right side, doesn't want to risk any signatures coming near. He's like, Blaze, you got to get every single neutral win on these 1v2s, and I'm just waiting for in case something hits. There's one follow-up on the Sair, but Blaze is we're seeing those chinks in his armor, right? He's getting close to going down, and soon either Blaze or Acno can go down here. There he goes, and Acno now in the 1v2, narrowly avoids that neutral sync, but Fiend and Yüz are about to stop the 3-0 sweep, and there it is. They break the curse, and they bring it to a game 4.
And that means the momentum is now in favor of the South Americans. It's not as handedly as it looked like it was about to be. Blaze and Acno really started to slow that one down, bring it back into their favor, but the South Americans hold on for a little while longer.
Fiend wiping his brow there after that game, because that was a serious win, and he really was thinking for a bit whether he should be switching off the Nai, because they have that Nai prepared, right, with Yüz, but now with the Hattori coming out, you're saying all those stat differences, but the spear is still great. They take a win off of Acno and Blaze, and now they're 2 games away from knocking them out. But look at that, we've got Hermison and the EU folks out there cheering for EU again.
Are you sure they're cheering for EU? I've seen a lot of people cheering for
I heard EU, but I mean, it could have been like something
we got to do a volume check, right? We got to see, if you're rooting for EU, give them some noise.
And
what about South America?
South America.
I think the favoritism is for the South Americans.
Definitely there. Okay, we're in game number 4, and the crowd is wild for Fiend and Yüz. And look at this, that energy is certainly transferring over here in game number 4. Yüz yet to take damage. That first down air connecting from Blaze, but so much damage coming over as Acno and Blaze. The last time we saw Acno switch over to that Koji, it was a desperation pick, and he lost the set shortly afterwards. And now it's here in game number 4. Look at that, so close to getting knocked out, and he does from that recovery. Blaze down airing, dribbling Yüz, just trying to stay onto this first stock as Fiend and Yüz are running away with the momentum here in game 4.
Yeah, Fiend and Yüz again coming out of the gates swinging. They want to get this early momentum because they know what happens if they let Acno and Blaze bring this one back. They know that their tournament run could be done here for doubles today.
D-Lane, he dodges the ball from Acno. Fiend is so good at doubles, Duke. He gets the D-Lane and the sideline there, the recovery. He goes to the weapon throw, and Acno gets the reversal on the Yüz. Huge, because that could have been him losing that second stock in an instant. Fiend somehow turning D-Light neutral wins into even further amounts of damage by dodging the follow-ups from his teammate, and he's still living after that downlight hits. It is 5 stocks to 3, Duke, as Acno goes down to 1 stock in under 1:30, and the team combo on the Blaze just keeps on rolling.
The South Americans are popping off. Fiend finally losing that first stock. Yüz barely even touched on his second. Acno's the one with the big target on the back. Does he go for the follow-ups? They can't take him out.
Fiend was just kind of like, whatever happens, happens to Yüz. He was on the ground.
He's like, good luck, man.
Denying the weapons. Down air whips. Acno chase dodges forward. The damage of the Blaze brings him into orange. Acno, opportunity here onto Yüz. Can he get the edge guard? No. Fiend there, ready to help out, and the punish on the Acno stops Yüz from getting knocked out, and the recovery just narrowly doesn't knock Blaze off the top of the stage.
The neutralite to follow up off of Blaze, getting some good damage built up. A Nair again onto Fiend. Acno hits the recovery, still not enough to KO though.
Gets the strong damage from recovery, even though he doesn't get the strong knockback. Sidestick takes out Blaze, and he gets the weapon throw to Acno. Acno has to dodge here at the landing. No, he gets the Nair instead. Gets underneath Yüz, catches him off guard. His 3 stocks to 2. Acno doesn't have too much damage, and Yüz is a target for the EU team. Let's see how this plays out here. Recovery comes through. Fiend landing onto the ground, and that neutral light hits both Acno and Blaze.
Acno really trying to dance around everything, trying to get away. Fiend is hunting him down. The Nair's not even going to put him off screen.
Acno manages to make it back, gets the recovery, and Yüz, he has to play good defense here. He recovers to the top of the stage, lands with Nair. Poe goes off of Blaze. Poe goes off Blaze again. Yüz winning the 1v2 as Fiend comes back to the stage. That side stick just a little too late for the follow-up, but they still have such a momentous lead. Side stick avoided, side stick dodge, the chase dodge. Acno holding on to dear life.
He needs to survive. He knows he is the target of the South Americans. Chase dodge again to avoid the side signature. He's holding on,
hits,
and it's gonna KO.
Hits.
One
Doesn't
stock
get the double
left.
knockout, but Blaze is so close to getting knocked out here. D-Light, double D-Light, recovery, and Fiend brings it to a Game 5 for South America here at BCX 2022.
The South Americans hold on. They have the momentum. They took Game 3, and like you said, once the snowball starts rolling, it starts to become an avalanche, and the South Americans have taken it to Game 5. They're one game away from having a representative team in the top 4.
Region top 4 BCX Duke. I said at the very beginning of the set, I was like, it has to.
We need it.
I know both the top 2 teams from EU and NA, yeah, that's cool, but having South America in there as well to really mix things up would be so incredibly crazy, and they're one game away from doing it. They've got the reverse 3-0 sweep momentum coming with them, and I don't know what Acno is going to lock in. The Koji, the last time we saw that Desperation Koji switch, he's still on it. He's holding on to it. Blaze on the Bryn. That's the key, right? That is the classic team. We are literally back to what both teams developed their names for here. They're on those legends going into game number 5 where everything counts. Winner of this gets in the top 4 and the loser is eliminated at 5th. Here we go, game 5.
This is a game for nostalgia. We're back in Cobb Galleria for BCX. They're back on their classic picks, the first picks that they ever played with together. You'll love to see it, and it all comes down to this to see who's gonna make it into the top 4.
They're running away with this opening here. They were able to split up Fiend and Yüz, and they got a ton of damage at the beginning of the game. Acno getting tons of neutral wins over Fiend. Fiend breaks it up with a 1 side light, but Blaze and Acno box both of them off the side of the stage, and that neutral light stopped by Blaze means that Fiend can't get even anything started off with his wins, and he's sent flying, no weapon, and South America starts off with a heavy beginning here as Fiend goes down, and Yüz could follow shortly afterwards.
Oh my goodness, Acno is basically untouched. He's taken like 2 light attacks, maybe 3. Good save from Fiend, trying to keep Yüz alive. He knows every stock is important here in game number 5.
They're trying to get that knockout into Blaze. He manages to hold on from that neutral light. And Blaze, stuck recovery, gets the ground pound, second recovery, dodges out of the way, hits the recovery towards the top of the stage, and he gets the knockout off the top. Huge because Acno is unscathed here in game number 5, doing so well for the red team. Even though Blaze goes down, Fiend is already close to being in red. And that side air, he's going to get a lot more of those in order to bring this game back into their favor.
Yeah, Acno is doing such a good job. He's already gotten 1 game of practice learning what he needs to do with the Koji to go up against this
D-Light
team.
recovery Nair. Fiend did actually get like 3 more side airs and a huge win as Acno went for it all on the gravity cancel side stick, and Acno's kind of throwing the stock away. Neutral stick hits, and Acno did nothing with that stock after all the damage that he did at the beginning of the game. It's now even across the board on stocks, and Fiend has been playing a great job of keep away. Yüz, you go for the recovery here on Blaze. He dodges narrowly. That could have been the stock. Team combo on Acno. He dodges down out of the Nair. Sidelight Nair again, and Fiend doesn't get the recovery follow-up, but he's not down yet. And they're getting more and more damage, Duke.
Oh my goodness, the South Americans, they're bringing it back. Blaze with the punish onto Yüz. The Nair, not quite enough. Another Nair. Yüz still living. Another Nair. Fiend gonna fall.
Fiend down to his tournament stock here. Yüz could follow shortly afterwards. Side air on the Blaze. Nice job with the neutral light on the Acno with the wake up D-Light recovery. Gets interrupted by Fiend. He's going for the recovery here. Side stick just narrowly avoids. Down to gets him. Acno could go down here. Team combo. But he ends up taking down Yüz with it as well. Acno needs to go down here. We have a dead even last stock game, Duke, and he gets the recovery. Can he make it back? This is risky because if Acno plays too much keep away, Blaze could get focused down, and that could become a 1v2.
And you see Acno, he's not even playing keep away. He's going in, chase dodges forward for a ground pound, survives the side air.
They're not going to go for Acno here. They're going to look over to Blaze. Blaze recovers to the sky. Acno goes in for the sidelight spot, dodges to avoid the punish. Weapon throw forward. Yüz goes for the pickup, and he ends up getting his own weapon. There's the recovery. Blaze has to run for dear life. if they want to hold on to this, because he's taking a ton of damage, and it's now too close to call, Duke.
This is really any team's game. Is it going to be another European team in the top 4, or is it going to be the South Americans into the top 4? Fiend down the line, Sig!
He gets
the side, the weapon toss!
No, Fiend goes for the edge guard, and Blaze sweating back to the stage. All weapons denied. Blaze has no weapon. He's waiting for that spawn, and goes for recovery. Blue team getting set up this guy. Gravity canceled down. Sig is just barely not enough to take down Yüz, and Acno with the double edge guard opportunity. He's getting the stairs. He's getting the down air. They have to save each other. Acno doesn't get the edge guard, and Yüz is so good at saving his teammate. The neutral thing hits. It's a 1v2. It's a 1v2.
Acno with the stare.
He
gets all the daylights.
This is it. This is it.
Acno's still living.
Oh, he has to get one hit on either blue team member. And Fiend and Yüz have to play the best game of their lives. They have to play flawlessly. He's on the side of the stage.
Recovery.
It's Fiend versus Acno for the win. Weapon throw. Nair avoids the recovery. Fiend looking for that pickup recovery, and Acno just trying to get that first hit. No dodge. That's it. And Acno gets game 5. And Blaze and Acno are moving on to top 4 over South America here at BCX 2022.
A nail biter of a set, going the distance, going to game 5, going to final stocks, 1v1 red, EU versus SA, and we've now gotten 2 North American teams and 2 European teams into the top 4 for doubles.
Oh, Duke, I'm so thankful that it wasn't. That was such
that was a great set.
And even though South America goes down, and even though I was killing for that storyline of having NA, EU, and SA in top 3, Fiend and Yüz go out at 5th, playing the best I've ever seen them against the historically best 2v2 team in Europe. And man, did they make it look good. It went down. I mean, it doesn't get more down to the wire than that, dude.
It's a heartbreaker because, again, you always want to go as far as you can, but at the same time, this is the team with the most wins under their belt. Multi-year win record for the European team of Acno and Blaze. They're so good, and they're playing back to their form. Blaze is looking great. Acno's looking great.
One of the most emotion I've seen from Acno there. He gets the pop-up, and then he goes, oh, that's right, you didn't hear me? There's the second one.
I love that. But you know who also loves it? I bet you Wadan, White Sheepy, as well as Foda and Steven were loving that set. And of course the crowd was loving that set. EU holds on. They've got 2 representatives in the top 4. That's great.
Oh, man.
Oh my God, the amount of the energy of the crowd, whether you were rooting for Acno and Blaze or rooting for Yüz and Fiend, the crowd was incredible. The energy was awesome. Foda, how do you feel about the outcome of this match? We were standing on our feet.
We were popping off so hard. That was the best set ever. Yes. That was the best set we've ever seen. Oh my gosh. We saw in the crowd reaction at the end there, it was like, we saw the duality of Brawlhalla fans. that was the best set ever.
Yeah.
That was like, what an amazing set to end on. I mean,
Steven.
I've never been so happy to be wrong. Okay, that was incredible. My crystal ball is broken. I'm gonna throw it out, and that's fine. But that really was the greatest set of 2v2 I've ever seen.
It was so electrifying.